So yeah, Tom, just tell us a bit about you, your life outside of TikTok Shop, and what actually got you to start TikTok Shop in the first place.
So I'm a sales manager, so I work full time and I've been doing that since 2017. Started actually back in 2019 reselling, so like trainers and that sort of stuff, and then doing it through COVID. And I've always had a bit of a side hustle. So I then did that for a few years, made some good money, and then I stopped doing it. And then I just saw TikTok Shop, and decided to get on that. So I've been doing that for about 5 months, maybe 6 months now, 5 months.
Yeah, nice, nice. And obviously, you know, as you said, you've always had a side hustle. You saw the opportunity with TikTok Shop. Was there a certain thing you saw about it, or did you just come across it on TikTok, or did you see someone talking about TikTok Shop? Or
I saw someone talking about it, and then I actually joined another group.
Mhm.
So I was in that for a little while. So I sort of, a lot of people that are in there, obviously you're paying a monthly premium, a lot of people in there. And I wasn't probably getting out of it as much as I could have been getting out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I sort of lost a little bit.
So, like at that point, and when you first came to me, where were you at with TikTok Shop? Do you remember how much you were sort of roughly making?
So I started, like I said, back in middle of September, made in September like 150 quid. And then in October, it sort of grew quite nicely to about 650. So I sort of hit the ground running straight away,
Yeah, yeah.
making a bit of money. So I saw, there's potential here. It's just how I can sort of scale it up. And you see on TikTok quite often, not much people are making. And at first I didn't quite sort of believe the numbers until I sort of was doing it myself in terms of making a bit of money and how I could sort of scale that beyond that.
Yeah, 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 got you. I think that is the thing, really. You see so much online nowadays. It's very difficult to be like, what's actually believable and realistic. And obviously, like the numbers you can hit on TikTok Shop are pretty insane in short periods of time. So it can be just get that skeptical feeling straight away, don't you? But then when you actually start it and try it for yourself, and you do notice, you're like, oh, I've made a couple quid there, so people are
Yeah,
actually making money. And then it sort of builds up from there. So when you obviously found out about the Accelerator Circle and the coaching and the different options that we had available, what actually made you want to join?
So like I said, first I was in a group that I was paying a monthly amount for, and I wasn't really getting what I felt I invested into the group.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by a lot of more intermediate people that have been doing shop for a while, and I wasn't sort of a bit lost. When obviously we had a chat about getting into Accelerator, I just wanted more of a tailored one-to-one sort of feel on how I can improve my numbers. So like I was saying, I was doing 650 a month. It's like, how do I get to where I want to be? That's why I felt like I wanted the dog barking. It felt like, how could I get to that goal that I wanted to get to?
So yeah, like obviously I had different options available, and you chose to go for the one-to-one, so like the fully one-to-one. So it was just always just me and you. What made you sort of opt for that rather than the small group coaching?
Like we said earlier, I want, like, if I can make £1,000 a month, I want to make £1,001 a month.
Yeah.
And I think if I have that tailored sort of one-to-one, where obviously I've got your WhatsApp number, I can just drop you a message or a DM. We can just jump on a call pretty much, whenever,
Yeah.
we're both sort of free, and just sort of chew the fat with stuff. How can I improve this? What I'm doing well with, what I'm not doing well with. So I sort of felt like I wanted more, I don't know if babyim's the right word, but sort of a little bit like an arm over my shoulder, like, right, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to work on. And I just preferred that. And I feel like I'm getting all of your time, which is massively beneficial for me.
You're very similar to me in terms of like, we don't have a set in stone call day, but when there is an issue and there's something that we need to sort, we just jump on and we get it sorted, sort of thing.
And like one of my videos that went viral recently, literally I'd done it all. I was like, right, I think this is going to do well. I need a text hook. What's a really good text hook? And I just dropped you a message, and you came back and said, right, I think you need to write this, write that. And it got so much engagement on it, and then just went viral. So just little things like that. In TikTok Shop, it's speed. So as soon as I said, right, I'm ready to go, you came back, and then I could just post it, rather than in other groups. You're definitely not going to get that sort of service.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it is the small details and the speed, like you've just said, that make the biggest difference. Just having that there, and what's the video on 1.5 million views now, or
I think 1.7, I think it might be.
plus. You did decide once again to go for the one-to-one option, which is obviously more of an investment. Were you worried that, anything could sort of go wrong, or what was your thought process?
It took me, I think when we officially spoke, it took me like I had to sort of have a little bit of time to myself to go, is this the right thing to do? Obviously, I saw your webinar you did and the amount of money you'd made in last year, I think, or in general. And I thought, well, he's got some skin in the game. He knows what he's doing. So yeah, it took me a little bit to get over the line, but I'm so glad I did. Because I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. So yeah, it did take a bit of me having to outlay that investment and think, is this the right thing? And as well, I think if you're spending that money on something, it makes you think that you're going to put the time and effort in. Like if it's 50 quid, 100 quid, you just, yeah, whatever, it's gone now. So you spend that on a night out. If you invest you're investing in yourself, you're going to put the groundwork in. You're going to, and I think that gives you some motivation as well to do it.
Yeah, I think that's it, because yes, it's an investment, but it's not just the numbers that you're getting out of it. It's now the knowledge, because like I can literally just say to you, go pick out some products now, and you know what you're sort of looking for. That's sort of something that you've now got for life sort of thing. As long as you do TikTok shop, you're going to know what you're looking for in terms of products and how to look for them and all of that stuff. So it's also the money you're going to make after the program as well, that you have to take into consideration.
Definitely. It's beyond just what we're doing now. It's sort of, yeah, like I said, lifetime improvements, to keep punching on.
Yeah, so let's talk about obviously the first few weeks to the first sort of month when you joined. I think we made it pretty clear that it wasn't like a get rich quick thing. It was more like, we're going to figure out what works specifically for you and we're going to get that sorted. So what would you say about our first month? How did you feel?
I think the first thing, we looked from a page and then saw that it was product selection, that just weren't the right products, or products that were tough to do content on, or they weren't visually appealing. So I think it was first getting the product selection right, and then beyond that, it was sort of then coming up with a structure to how we then structure the videos to sort of maximize the most out of the video and the product.
Like I say, you weren't specifically doing anything wrong. Like you weren't a bad creator in any way. You had the fundamentals down. It was just the structure of your content, the products that you were choosing, the little things that make a big difference, once again, like we were saying. And like when we could figure what that was for your account, like we always say, like every account is so different. When we could sort of figure out what was specifically working for you, it just allowed us to obviously, start to see some results. Our first problem that we encountered, which was a good problem to have, we were making some money, but it was all from live streams, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I can't remember, it was probably 80% of what I was sales-wise was live streams. And because I work in sales, it was sort of a bit more natural to me, waffling on and just trying to convert people on sales. And my videos weren't doing that well at all, comparatively, as in terms of if I was making 50 quid, 80% of that would have been from live sales. Sort of sticking at the live sales because that was working, and then how we could sort of punch on with the video side of things and sort of increase my, or maybe change the split to say make more each day, but also change the split of how that would be split between lives and videos.
Yeah. And I think that's what we all want, really, because live streams are good. You can make a lot of money, but the problem is you sat there. We both got things going on, and like we've got places to be and all of this stuff. So it's like, how can we get the videos pumping more? And we did have to sort of focus the videos for quite a while just to get them where they needed to be, so that we could be earning money whilst we're not actually there, sort of thing.
If you look at my commissions now, for like my tracker throughout the month, for March, I think I've only done like 1 hour live. My time has now been put into videos and seeing a greater sort of return on my time. And if I want to bump it up with lives, then I can do, but I don't have to stress that, right, I've got an hour in the evening, I've got to bang out lives, because my videos where I've put the groundwork in before I'm seeing a return on.
100%. So yeah, obviously the numbers are looking a lot better now. But what has sort of been your realistic journey? What's the timeline look like since we've sort of been together?
So I'll go through all the months since I started. I think September was, I hit the ground running, did a couple of £100, but then October I had 4 weeks, obviously, and only doubled my money. And then November 650, so it did grow quite steadily. And then December took a little bit of a dip, but that's because I was ill. I think I got overwhelmed by Q4. We only just started out, didn't sort of get my products right. So we sat down come January, or after Q4 was done, said, look, what have we done right? What have we done wrong? How can we punch on from here? And then Jan was 1.7, so it's like a massive increase, like almost 3 times my best ever month, considering I was coming off the back of a 350 month. And then Feb Last month was 3.8, which is ridiculous. And then March, we're currently at 3K with an 150 quid retainer, and we've still got 11 days to go.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's just been crazy. Like the growth in sort of like such a short period of time has been crazy.
Yeah. Realistically, everyone always thinks the growth is just sort of linear. You think that every single month you are just gonna keep increasing and increasing and increasing. And now we've gotten to that point because we've sort of, as you said, we reset, we got the things right, and now we are sort of on that path now. The reality is you are going to sometimes have times when you've been doing slightly better, especially when you first start out, you're going to be doing slightly better. It might drop down a bit, but it's about actually finding what works for you, get back onto like that positive sort of trend with the results.
Yeah, definitely. I think like we were speaking earlier, I'm doing like 150, 200 quid days. I think my best ever day is 300 quid. It's like, why can't I do that every day? And it, like you said, it's not linear. But when it does drop, I think you can't get demotivated, and shop is so fast moving. It might be a case of, do you have to look at your content, right? What was I doing well when it was 300 quid? How can I look at getting back to those sort of numbers? But like I said, you can't get demotivated. You just got to stay consistent, doing what you know you can do, so you can get back to sort of where you want to be.
Yeah, 100%. So what would you say from your side have been some of the biggest shifts that have actually allowed you to get to that point where you're making, £3,800 in a month? What would you say from when you came in to now? What are some of the things that you feel like have changed the most?
Product selection. That's obviously a lot more better suited to me. I think a lot of trial and error. This works for me. This doesn't work for me. The stuff that does work for me, then I sort of like double down on getting products that are similar to that, actively looking for products that I feel that I can make content on, and then coming up with just my structure. Yeah, I didn't really have a structure as such, or an engaging hook to sort of hook people in, and then you do, so once you got them in, then you do all the sort of selling part of it to try and get them to buy. So it was just, a lot of structuring, product selection, just even small things like when I was videoing, I didn't even have it in 4K on 60. It's just I didn't have the grid lines on there to keep stuff in the middle so it's just simple stuff that made so much of a difference and made my life easier when coming to film content.
Yeah. I always say, you could have gotten to the point we're at now by yourself. Do you think you could have gotten there?
You never know, do you? But whether I would have got there in the time it's taken me, probably not, because I might have just carried on with my product selection, just gone, oh, right, I'm making 300 quid a month. That's the best it's going to be because that's all I can do. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but I would probably say not. I don't think I would have reached out to you to say, right, I'm making money now. Let's see how I can scale that up as quick as possible.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just having the guidance of someone that's obviously done that, telling you exactly what's sort of wrong and what needs to change. It does just change how quickly you make progress.
Yeah, and I like that you're sort of ruthless as well with it. Like, this is what's not working. Let's stop that completely. And I think if you want to improve, you need that. You need a bit of constructive criticism, and you need to be able to take it on the chin. But that's what's going to make you better. Because otherwise, you're just going to go around in circles, doing what you've done, and you're not gonna get to the goals you want to get to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so just to end this off, where you were at before, so it's £650 a month. What would you say to someone that's around that £500 to £650 a month range right now, sort of trying to do TikTok shop? They've seen the potential. What would you say to them? What's some advice that you'd give them if they're trying to grow?
I think if the question they've got to ask themselves, are they happy with that, and do they want to grow? If they do, then they need to, like I said, I was in a group before, quite a strong chance that these people that are doing 500 quid or whatever a month are already in a group. And yeah, they're making some money, but they're not getting out of the group that they feel they could, or in general. So that was the problem I had, that I was paying this money, I wasn't really seeing the returns I wanted. So sort of the best thing I did was to go one-to-one with you. If you want to get to that 3 to 5K or beyond that, then you need to be making those decisions. And you've got to be hard with yourself. You've got to go, right, if I want to be making that amount of money, how do I do that? And unless you want to wait a lot longer, or for me, I don't know if I would have ever got there, then you need to take the leap, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not doing less than 650 a month now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've not gone back. So it's, and like we said as well, it's beyond this. So yeah, great whilst we're doing the coaching course, but then it's going to be what I'm going to be able to do beyond that.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it really, to be fair. I think obviously we're still not where we want to get to. We've still got a lot of pushing to do. I know that we're going to get you to the point that we really want to get you to, but you know, when you first came in, this was sort of the point you wanted to be at, where you said you'd be happy. But obviously, we're trying to push for even more now, because you've seen the potential and you've seen your potential more than anything. So
that's what I said to you. I said I want to get to 3 to 5k, and to be honest, I didn't think I'd get there as quick as what I got there. And I've got to remember, I've got a full-time job. I do I play football, I go to the gym, I do stuff outside of, I have a social
go to
life.
stag do's.
Go to stag do's, mate. Yeah, I've got a lot this year, and weddings. So I've got a normal life. I'm not dedicating, every minute to this, and I'm still, topping up an extra 3-4k a month. And I'm still in a transition period of, my content's getting better, but if I'm doing that now, what is it going to be in the next 6 months? And if I'm still putting in the same amount of time as what I'm doing now, full-time job and that, it all adds up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, brilliant.